You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries, as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and a repeat offender. Blake Vartanian is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as always, we ask you, hey, hit the bell on the, if you're watching us on YouTube, right? You've got a bell on there. You've got an alarm button, a like button, a subscribe button, all those goody things. I'm not the millennial anymore, so I'm not really familiar with all these things. But I know that if you hit those things, it'll tell you when we're broadcasting live. And if you are listening to us on the weekend, we appreciate you tuning in. But if you want to have more interactive experience, 10:30 on Wednesday mornings, we record the program. It's on YouTube. You can put your comments right in the comment bar. We do try to answer whatever ones that we can. And we certainly hope that you will share the information from the broadcast because, you know, we try to give you some great information all the time. So share it, tell your friends, family, coworkers, anybody who's got insomnia, any of those things. This is the place to be on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. on Go Country, or right here, 10:30 in the morning on Wednesdays where we record the broadcasts. Got a lot of information to share with you today. We're going to talk with Blake Vartanian about investing in real estate, but I'm going to share some information with you on how do you do that. Maybe you don't have a job. How do you get financed? Maybe you've got a piece of property that you want to use to finance the acquisition yourself. You've got some down payment money, but you don't have the income to show. So there's a lot of different, what we call alternative financing solutions. And we're going to get into a lot of those today. And how do we make those work? So there are programs, higher loan limits with no mortgage insurance, credit challenged borrowers. We've got a program for you. Real estate investors, the property is what qualifies. We've got that one for you. High-priced markets, larger loan amounts, we've got that. And what about if you need to close real quick? There are programs for that as well. So we're going to get into detail on all of these different programs, but we're going to take it one step further. Where are you going to get the initial seed money? Well, we're going to talk about how you do that. But in our problem solver segment that we like to try and get started with at the very beginning of the broadcast, let's take a look and see if there's some conversations that might be worthy of our discussions. So let's see, unpermitted property. Here's one that came in. Does an unpermitted property disqualify the property from FHA lending? Short answer, no. So here's the issue. Now, the appraiser, we can't use the value of the unpermitted property, but I had a conversation with some folks over at First American Title last week, and they were saying to me, unless there are citations, they don't even check for permits when they're issuing a title insurance policy. So Does FHA, can you do it with an FHA loan? Yes, you can do that with the FHA loan. No value given to the unpermitted part of the property, but yes, you can have that. It does not disqualify the property. Another one, I have savings, but lost my job due to COVID. Can I buy a house? Well, the answer there is it depends, right? How much savings do you have? How much of a down payment do you have? So there are solutions there. Now, hopefully you're going to be getting a new job at some point in time. Some of these different products, they do come with a cost. So don't think that you're going to go out there and get, and I tell you this every week, that every Thursday, Freddie Mac releases their mortgage market survey. Easy for me to say. And they tell us every week what the market has done when they've surveyed their members and come up with the interest rates for the week. Now, as of the report on July 29th, that's the latest we have as of recording time, that was a 2.8 30-year fixed rate loan, 2.8%. I'm going to guess just by watching the market this week, it's probably going to be a little bit lower when the numbers come out on the 5th of August. Again, if you're listening to us Sunday morning, they already came out, and you'll be able to see if my forecast was correct. And I'll post it right there on our Facebook page, so make sure you go over there and take a look. But you'll be able to tell if our forecast is correct. And I think it's going to be a little bit lower. Now, if you're going with some of these alternative loan products, you're not looking at Freddie Mac loans, right? So you're not going to be looking at a 2.8 interest rate. What is the interest rate on the loans? I don't know. I can't tell you that because I don't know your situation. What is your credit score? Which program are we looking at? Are we looking at a documented loan? And here's the issue. You're hearing people out there now talking about stated income loans. Yeah, they're kind of calculated income. They're really not the same stated income that many of us saw in 2005, 2006. Those loans are not around. But you take a look at, for a business owner, take a look at the bank statements. We'll talk more about that in the later part of the broadcast. But there are programs out there for people. We just want to make sure. Here's the issue. Call us, 800-306-1990. Let's talk about your unique situation. What are your goals and objectives? You can go online to any one of these fancy websites and find out about a basic interest loan, right? They're not going to give you any guidance on how to develop your portfolio, how to set a strategy for your family. That's not what they're geared for. That is what we're geared for. Yes, we can do all those same loans that those online services do, but we bring a level of service, human nature, human factor, taking you into consideration. That's the big difference there between what they're doing and what they offer and what you're going to get from our team and the folks at Geneva Financial. Yeah, let's move along in our problem solvers segment this morning. How about this one? This is a big issue. I was on a call and I was fascinated when I started seeing some of these numbers. And it's identity theft. Have you been involved in identity? Have you been a victim of identity theft? Now, you know something? I'm going to tell you my son's story. So yes, my son did have his identity stolen. How did they steal his identity? In this day and age, you got to wonder about it. But what they did, it was 2-3 years ago, and his W-2 statement came in the mail. And apparently somebody stole it out of the mailbox. How would we ever know that that was gone until he went to file his taxes and they had already been filed? Not accurately, but they had been filed already. Identity theft. So on the call that I was on this morning, just looking at some massive statistics, 14.4 million consumers became victims of identity theft. Are you one of them? 33% of U.S. adults have experienced identity theft. Have you experienced identity theft?
I actually have.
So 50% of the people in this room have experienced identity theft. Actually, through my family, I guess it's both of us, right? Have experienced identity theft.
And there's no greater anguish.
Right. Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. More than 1 in 4 older adults, age 55 and over, have experienced identity theft. 1 in 5 victims of identity theft have experienced it more than once. 1 million children, right? Costing families $540 million in out-of-pocket expenses. There is a new victim of identity theft every 2 seconds. Think about that one. During the course of this broadcast, how many people are going to be affected by identity theft? 164 million exposed records in 2019. Consumers lost more than $56 billion to identity theft fraud in 2020. Taxpayers lost over $200 billion in unemployment identity theft in Los Angeles. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was just in the U.S. I shouldn't say in Los Angeles. Consumers reported over $400 million lost to coronavirus scams and identity theft. Are you getting the idea here? It's a problem. There's a serious issues of identity theft. Well, I wouldn't call this the problem solver segment if I didn't think we had a solution for you. So here's the issue. Go to RSR, Ron Siegel Radio, RSRIDTheftbook.com, RSRIDTheftbook.com, or you can text RSR ID Theft Book to 79564, RSR ID Theft Book to 79564. And we're going to get you a copy of a book that we're just finishing up. So it'll be available by the time we broadcast live on Sunday. This entire book that's going to give you some ideas on how to solve identity theft, how to avoid it. And if you're a victim of identity theft, well, we're going to talk about that in the book as well. And we can even take you one step further. How's this? Only Ron Siegel Radio will we do this for you. So if you want to have a ID theft checkup every 4 months, we're going to give you a method of getting the Ron Siegel Radio ID theft checkup. And we're going to do it once every 4 months for anybody that asks us to do it for them. And it'll be totally compliments of Ron Siegel Radio. Just because you listen to us here, if there's one thing I hate, there's a couple things. I hate crooks, right? I mean, go work hard like the rest of us. We're all hardworking individuals. And the thing that's even worse than crooks is when they take advantage of our seniors, right? So those are two horrible, horrible areas. And we want to give you the solution. That's our idea on Ron Siegel Radio, is bringing you the solutions that you may not hear anywhere else. So RSRIDTheftbook.com, totally free. We don't charge anybody for it. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to give you all that kind of garbage. We just want to give you something to help you out with this process. So check that out. We're going to also talk today about an event coming up. And I like events because it's a time for me to get to hear from you, right? And what's even better about some of the events that we do is when somebody else is doing the educating, it's great because I get to sit in the back and be the heckler. I'm not the heckler, the watcher, the student, but I still get a chance to meet people. So we're going to talk about that as well. Here's the link for that one, RP100. So you just text RP100 to 79564, RP100 to 79564. It's going to be a free educational event, 1 hour of your time that could change your life. 1 hour of your time could totally change your life for generations to come. And I'm not getting too bold here. And, I have no vested interest whether you do it or not. I'm just telling you that if you invest an hour of time, you might find that it's life-changing. So we have that one for you. And to go along with that, how about RSR Wealth? Text RSR Wealth to 79. God, we're giving away too much stuff this morning, Blake. We're only in the first segment. And look, I've given away 4 to 5 different things.
We're going to have to add more swag for the rest of the show.
Yeah, holy cow. We had a lot to cover in the next 45 minutes or so. Yeah. RSR Wealth. Text RSR Wealth to 79564. RSR Wealth 79564. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back with rents on the rise, is now the time to buy? And we've got a better outcome segment, mediating the marital home, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com. Are you a military veteran, first responder, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, then you're a Ron Siegel VIP hero, and you may qualify for rewards up to $5,000 to $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with a Ron Siegel Radio partner. As a valued VIP hero, you receive special savings, rebates, and valuable discounts. Learn more by calling me, Ron Siegel, at 1-800-306-1990 or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. It's just our way of saying thank you.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You know something? I don't generally like to do a whole lot of conversations about products, right? Because it's boring. But here's the issue. Every once in a while, we like to share educational information just so you get a flavor of what's in the marketplace, because so many people, especially if you're watching the news, they give information based on what they believe to be correct, but it's not always right on. Right. So right now we hear all kinds of people I just had a meeting yesterday with a banker, and this particular bank doesn't do home loans. So they send all of their loans to a big bank that I'm not going to mention anything blue about the company or anything along those lines on every corner. And I know for a fact that bank is not fond right now of doing home loans for self-employed borrowers. These banks change all the time. You have to know what the banks are looking for. So a lot of times you'll hear with self-employed borrowers, it's frustrating for them. They say, you don't qualify, and they forget to put the words "with us" after those terms. You don't qualify with us. That doesn't mean you don't qualify. It means that they don't have a program at the time. They're doing something else. They're pushing some other product or some other program. Nothing wrong with that. It's their business model. But there are programs out there that are very, very unique, and we call them alternative loans. Technical name is non-QM. Who cares about that, right? So one of them is something called a visionary loan, and it's geared toward investors. Now, investors they have cash in many instances, but maybe they've got to a point in life where they don't have steady income. They don't need it. They've listened and they've built a portfolio of real estate. Well, they've got this cash, this liquidity, or they don't have the liquidity. They need to create liquidity, which part of this program does. And basically what it does, it looks for the debt service of the program. And it says, as long as the property will generate enough rent to pay all of the debt service, the more principal, interest, taxes, insurance, if there's an HOA, has to cover all of that. Well, the property now that qualifies that property from the income standpoint. Do they look at the credit scores? Yeah, you have to have a semi-decent credit score. They look at the loan to value. They look at and the loan to value is going to help be driven by credit scores. Will they allow first-time investors? Yeah. Do they use a vacancy factor? No. 30 years fixed, 10 years interest only, all different programs that are available. Just one of the programs. So that's just one product I'm going to share with you today. But products are great. If you can't use them, they're worthless. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. And the reason I say they're worthless is you need to know how to use them, and that's what we're going to chat with Blake Vartanian about this morning. And if you haven't heard us talk with Blake before, he's a regular contributor on Ron Siegel Radio. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. So you've been sharing for a long time the idea of building wealth through real estate.
Yes.
Do you come up with people that have problems with the income to qualify all of these different properties they come across?
Yes.
It's a regular issue.
Yeah, definitely. So things that have to be worked through.
And it's something that can be worked through. Do you come up with properties? So if I were to say to you, Blake, does the property cash flow? Right? That's easy for you, obviously. Explain what that would mean to the simple man or woman.
Okay, so let's take the gross rents, which is what the tenant pays in receivables to you, so income to you, less all of the expenses related to the property, and whatever is left over is your cash flow.
So would it be a benefit to somebody if the property, if the rents equal that debt service? Would that be a benefit to an investor? Would they like something like that?
If it broke, if the rent equaled exactly the debt service,
is that a good starting point?
Yeah, well, I mean, it needs to at least equal that.
Yeah, so you can have a positive cash flow too.
Yes, that's preferred.
Right. So,
but some people do fine with a small negative because of their tax treatment, and that's a whole nother issue.
Sure, and with what things we're talking about, bring your tax advisor in on these.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. It's a team approach. So you need a tax advisor. You need your estate planning people. You need to have a great real estate professional that understands investing. Right? Investing in real estate. Is investing in real estate identical to buying my own single-family first-time home?
No.
That's a whole different strategy, right?
It's a different conversation, but it's when it comes to all of those professionals that you referenced, we also have the opportunity to introduce you with there's no return to us on that consultation, but you can have an initial free consultation with those individuals to see if they're match with what you want for your representation. So we don't have a stake in that outcome other than we want you to be able to have a fully informed decision-making process.
Make a fully informed decision. And that's always, so I have a friend of mine that says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right.
Right. Isn't that so the concept here that we're talking about in this particular program, and everybody has their own names for it. I just call it a visionary investment. Right. So basically, if you don't have enough cash, so let's just say, Blake, that we find, and I know that you profess multi-unit properties.
Yes.
Right. And One of the reasons I shared some of these things is I've been to some of Blake's seminars, so I understand kind of what they're doing, and they're doing another seminar coming up. We'll talk to you about that one in a minute. But if you can go out and put, say, $250,000 down on $1 million fourplex, we're just going to hypothetical.
Sure.
Is it?
And they're available. There's possible.
There's possibilities of that product on the market. Mm-hmm. So, do you see those cash flowing from time to time?
Oh, definitely.
So those you can actually get.
Yeah, because of where the interest rates currently are and the price of the financing. Now, there's been many times in our careers that we would have said, no, that's not enough down payment to cash flow.
Right.
And we're not saying it would be a massive cash flow, but you have to remember we calculate into the cash on cash return the pay down of the principal on the mortgage as well.
Sure.
Because that captures back your equity position and eventually pays off the mortgage by someone else. So you only have
someone else gets to pay my mortgage.
Yes, exactly.
I like that idea.
And the cash on cash returns your down payment.
And do they share the appreciation?
No.
Right. So we get the appreciation.
At least not with this entrepreneur.
Right. So here's the idea here. So if you have this $250,000 down payment, buy the $1 million house, duplex, triplex, fourplex, whatever it is, if it has enough rental income just to cover. Now, when I said debt service, I was really a little off on that because I said principal, interest, taxes, insurance, those expenses. I know that there's maintenance expenses and whatnot also. We don't care about that, right? You do from a investment standpoint, but from the financing standpoint, as long as the two equal each other, the rent and the debt service, as long as they equal, well, now you've got a loan that's pretty doable. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to be done, right? We don't guarantee anything on Ron Siegel Radio, but that's a foundation for a transaction. Now, in Southern California, what do you guess on appreciation? Just a guess on $1 million fourplex.
Well, I mean, if we're talking trend over time, it's traditionally around 5%, a little over 5%.
So you're making $50,000. Hypothetically, we're not guaranteeing anything.
No guarantee, and there's ups and downs in the market, of course, just like in any economic cycle. But if you were to talk about the last couple of years, and I'd say couple of years dating back to 2012, we've seen, a significant, almost decade-long level of appreciation, starts, but really no downward trend.
Sure.
And so, you're talking, depending on the market area, price point, could be anywhere from 10 to 20% return on your investment, depending on what price point you're at.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. So if you get that 5%, on the $1 million property, if my math is correct, which I think it is, that's $50,000.
Yes.
And in our hypothetical scenario, we were putting $250,000 into the property. Now, where did we get that? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Right. So that's 20% return on our initial investment.
Yes.
First year. And it's going to grow over time.
Yes.
And I didn't have to come out with, and we already talked about, we qualified because somebody else is making the payment on that.
Yes.
So we get the appreciation, we get the tax write-off, we get the tax benefits.
And you actually get depreciation on a property that's appreciating.
That's kind of nice.
Which is an interesting thought when you think about it.
Only the U.S. government, right. The IRS, right? Only in America, right? It's a great country. All right, so think about that concept. Now, and that's just one product and again, I don't like talking about product, but I like solutions. So the solution to not having a steady income, a W-2 job or a business that's throwing up where you're showing a lot of income, here's a solution to go out and be buying a piece of real estate with a $250,000 down payment. Now, would it be a far fetch for somebody in Southern California that's been in the real estate market? Maybe they own their own home 5-10 years to have $250,000 in equity in their property?
It'd be a far fetch if they didn't.
Right? So the likelihood is that they've got that kind of equity. You've got some statistics just in North Orange County of how much equity there is sitting around, right?
Yeah. So in the 8 cities that surround our location, at the 55 and the 91, as an example, the cities that are closest to us, they're just there's about 53,000 properties, give or take, that are owned without a mortgage.
No mortgage.
No mortgage.
Wow.
According to the statistics we've been able to pull through independent sources. So that's what motivated this idea that there's so much trapped equity sitting dead in people's portfolios, not working for them.
And in that marketplace, if I know it correctly, which I think I might, the median price of a property is $836,000.
Yes.
So you've got 53,000 properties.
And I calculated that number, by the way, with a $700,000 average sales price when I did it. So now there's probably $500 billion more worth of dead assets sitting there, not being utilized by the individuals, or they're utilizing their equity to buy things that are depreciating, like cars and things that they shouldn't be using their equity for.
So we're going to talk about that in a minute. $500 billion dead assets. What do we mean by dead assets? I want to chat with Blake Vartanian about that when we come back. We're going to also get a little bit into, and we're talking about a lot about investing today, because this is Southern California. You make a lot of money in real estate here. With rents on the rise, is now the time to buy. We'll talk about that. And we've got a better outcome segment. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach us anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Building your future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com. Are you a military veteran, first responder, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, then you're a Ron Siegel VIP hero, and you may qualify for rewards up to $5,000 to $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with a Ron Siegel Radio partner. As a valued VIP hero, you receive special savings, rebates, and valuable discounts. Learn more by calling me, Ron Siegel, at 1-800-306-1990 or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. It's just our way of saying thank you.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Key questions to ask yourself before buying a home. Sometimes it can feel like everyone has advice when it comes to buying a home. And when the market's like this, everybody and their uncle has advice, whether they know it's good advice or not good advice. We don't know that. While your friends and loved ones may have your best interest in mind, they may also be missing crucial information about today's housing market that you need to make your best decision. Before you decide whether you're ready to buy a home, you should know how to answer these 3 questions. Number 1, what's going on with home prices? Now, if you are watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, if you're watching any of our social channels, I know you're not doing that if you're watching or listening to us Sunday morning on Go Country. But we do have charts that we do show this information. Home price forecast for 2021. So Fannie Mae says home prices are going to go up 14.8%. The National Association of Realtors says that home prices are going up 14.1%. Freddie Mac forecast 12.1%. Zelman says 11%. MBA says 10.3%. And the chart says, yes, 12.46 is the average appreciation for real estate for 2021, according to these professionals. Number 2, are today's low mortgage rates going to last? Well, the mortgage rate projections, I'm not going to give you all of them because that would be boring. But I do have Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors. The average of those 4 comes out by the second quarter 2022, 3.58%. Number 3, why is home ownership important to you? Final question. This is a personal one. Before deciding, you'll need to understand your motivation to buy a home and why home ownership is an important goal for you. The financial benefits of owning a home are often easier to account for than the many emotional ones. The 2021 National Homeownership Market Survey shows that 6 of the 9 reasons Americans value home ownership are because of how it impacts them on a personal, aspirational level. The survey says home ownership provides stability, safety, sense of accomplishment, a life milestone, a stake in the community, personal pride. Again, that's from the National Housing and Financial Capability Survey from NeighborWorks America, and also highlights the emotional benefits of home ownership. 89% believe owning a home provides a sense of safety and security. 89%. Clearly, there's a value to home ownership beyond the many great financial opportunities it provides. It gives homeowners a sense of pride, safety, security, accomplishment, which impacts their lives and how they feel daily. Bottom line, home ownership is life-changing, and buying a home can positively impact you in so many ways. With any decision this big, it helps to have a trusted advisor by your side each step of the way. That would be the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text ATP to 79564. Get those advisors on your side. And if you are thinking of buying a home, hey, another free gift from Ron Siegel Radio. I love giving away free gifts. Text HBG to 79564, HBG 79564, or rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. So we are chatting this morning. Blake Vartanian is in the house. We're chatting about investing in real estate. And in the last segment, we talked about a great hypothetical. See, one of the things that's fun to do is we can talk about case studies on Ron Siegel Radio. We can talk about these case studies. And do we know that this is what's going to happen? No. Do we know that this is what has happened historically? Right? That we can talk to you about, because we do know that in Southern California, certain counties, over the last 50, 60 years, real estate has appreciated at 4.9%. There's been some that's been 5.3%. We just used a 5% number, right? So we're trying to be somewhat in the middle of what's happened historically. Now, I will not guarantee, and I wouldn't even ask Blake to try, what's going to happen in the next year. There's a lot of, CoreLogic, one of the biggest companies out there, they said real estate was going to depreciate 6.6%. We're up about 16%. They were off by about 22%. And they're a big company.
And they're still a credible source.
Yeah, still a very credible source. They're still one of the best sources out there when you're looking at historical numbers, right? So, we're just going to share the data that we learn and tell you that these things have happened. They could happen. Now, when I talk to you about that the method of financing the property, yeah, that's something that's available right now. Now, if you are a business owner, next investment vehicle that I want to share with you, what if you're a business owner and you've got a great CPA and they write off every last thing that they can to minimize your tax liability? And then you come and you say, well, Ron, I want to take money out of my house because I've got this $1 million house, right? I bought it 20 years ago. And, now I owe about $400,000 on it. 20 years ago, probably owe less than that, right? But you got $1 million house, you got $600,000 in equity. I'm going to have Blake explain dead assets in a minute. But you write everything off. So you say, I can't get a loan because I'm equity rich, cash poor. But that's not necessarily the case. How about an achiever program? Loan amounts to $3 million. Credit scores can be pretty low. Take a look at the businesses or persons 12 or 24-month bank statements to deal with qualification. High debt to income ratio, high loan to value. Could be owner occupied. It could be a second home. It could be investment property. You can use gift funds. 30 years fixed rates, 10-year interest only rates. First-time buyers are allowed. A lot of opportunity there, right? So that's where you're going to get the money. Now, Blake, talk a little bit because you mentioned this concept in the last segment. We're not going to repeat the segment. You can watch that on Ron Siegel Radio or Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Dead assets.
So basically what happens is when you purchase your property, most people put a down payment down if they're financing. Not everyone, because VA, you don't have to.
Right.
And some people have a very small down payment based on community development programs, FHA, et cetera. So let's just use the example of a 20% equity position because somebody puts a 20% down payment. So on a $500,000 property, that would be a $100,000 down payment. That's your equity. Then from that point, assuming appreciation year over year, over this last 60 years, the number that we have used in our past conversations is approximately 5%.
Sure.
So as those years go by, you increase your level of equity in the property. And if you're not doing anything with that money, it's getting a small return on your investment based on the overall appreciation of the property. So it's 100, you're 100%, your money's 100% not, it's idle.
Right.
So we want to put it to work.
Same as putting your money under the pillow.
Yes.
Right. So here's the concept. Think about this, and I'm a simple guy. So that property over the last 20 years in your example there, 5%, let's just say it's gone up to $750,000. It's more than that over 20 years, but
yeah,
we're going to say $750,000.
Sure.
So, and because of the amortization table over 20 years, that $500,000 property, you put $100,000, you had a $400,000 loan, you probably own about $100,000 on it. Now, if that property, that $750,000 property appreciates at 5%, that's $37,500. If you take all of the money out, say you're a veteran and you go take a full $750,000 out, and you've now got $650,000 in cash. I'm just using that as a hypothetical. If that property appreciates, now you owe $750 on a property that's $750. If it's 5% appreciation, you still get $37,500 in appreciation. The amount of equity is irrelevant to your appreciation. Now, we're not going to be able to do that, right? Because we're not all veterans. Thank you to those who are veterans. We appreciate you. We honor you. Yes. But let's just say that we were able to get a $600,000 loan on that $750,000 property. Now we've liberated $500,000. Nice round number, right? Now, Blake, we talked in the last segment about taking a $250,000 property, buying $1 million worth of a real estate.
Yes.
But we have $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do two?
It's very possible.
but my income hasn't doubled, right? So we're using the visionary program again, right? Because we talked about how we get this to cash flow. Can we get 2 properties to cash flow? Is there anything rule against having 2 properties cash flowing?
No, and you know what's interesting, Ron, is when you ask that question, is we had a consultation with a couple a few months ago who decided to be a little more conservative. And they took that, it's funny, the numbers there, because it wasn't, you didn't know that this situation.
Right.
But it just popped in my head of that example where they took their roughly 500,000 and they bought a duplex instead of a fourplex. So they still have multiple doors.
Sure.
And so when the property goes vacant in one unit, it's not necessarily vacant in 100%.
So they're still getting some money in.
Still getting some money. And in today's examples, our property manager partners have reported that they've gotten up to 400 inquiries when a rental comes on the market.
Wow.
400. And they had over 17 actual qualified people from those 400 inquiries, and they had to pick from one of those 17 qualified to get, because of the demand for housing.
What a shame, right?
Right.
So you got all these people that want to rent the property, that want to rent the property to pay your mortgage, so that you get the appreciation and the amortization table, the extra equity from the mortgage payment, right? That's kept for the owner. What a beautiful world. Right, we're going to talk more about this. We're going to even talk to you about how you can learn more about where you can do these things with Blake Vartanian. He might be doing a seminar coming up. I think I heard that somewhere. And we're going to tell you about that in the next segment. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Listening to this program, building personal wealth is a topic you're familiar with, and you probably understand that making money is about creating a high income from a high-paying job or running a business, while building wealth, on the other hand, is about creating a stock of value that goes up over time. You've also probably noticed lately that prices for fuel, groceries, and raw materials are skyrocketing, while your monthly income remains flat. Welcome to Inflation 101. One of the fastest growing wealth building strategies is utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, like the equity in your home. Realty Pro 100 has been helping people like you increase their net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 per year. Now's the time to put your money to work for you and beat inflation. Learn more and start building your wealth by contacting Realty Pro 100. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Receive free information on how the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program works and if it's the right wealth building strategy for you. License DRE 020590058.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Better Outcomes segment today being brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Oh, yes, of course, we've got another free gift for you. You want a better outcome in your divorce? Here it is, Divorce Your Mortgage Workbook, mydymworkbook.com, mydymworkbook.com. Or you can go to My DYM Workbook, text that to 79564, get a copy of the workbook, Mediating the Marital Home, Mediation Support. Now, where does this mediate? Easy for me to say. Mediation is a process in which a third person helps participants in a dispute to resolve it. In order to resolve the dispute, the participants must negotiate a solution. Problem solving is part of the negotiations. The process of mediation is the management of other people's negotiations, and the mediator is the manager of the negotiations who organizes the discussion of the issues to be resolved. The more coherent and organized the process, the easier it is for the participants to arrive at solutions that are mutual and appropriate for them. Why do you think I'm offering you the My DYM workbook? That way you are organized, you're ready for it. At the center of the mediation process is gathering the data, fact-finding, defining the problem, and developing options. When the subject matter is specialized, as in negotiating the marital home, the cycle becomes specialized and may require the need for mediation support from a certified divorce lending professional. Ideally, both parties will agree on the appropriate disposition of the marital home. The need for mediation support utilizing a skilled CDLP is important to make sure that the negotiated agreement can actually be executed. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Come up with this agreement, you negotiate the whole thing, you go through the mediation, and then find out that you can't qualify for what you agreed to. That's why we talk about the idea of getting this My DYM workbook every week on Ron Siegel Radio. Get the book. Let us talk to you and let us give you the information. It doesn't cost you a darn thing. It's not like going to, and it's not legal advice. We don't cross that line. But a lot of lawyers, they're great at what they do, but very few lawyers that I've come across, very, very few, are competent in lending guidelines. It's not what they do. So get the workbook, let the CDLP, our team has that designation, understanding the intersection of real estate, family law, mortgages. Let them put their 2 cents worth in for you. And that way you end up with a better outcome. That is the Better Outcome segment brought to you by mycdlp.com. We are chatting this morning. Blake Vartanian is in the house. We're chatting about real estate, investing in real estate. We've come up with a couple of different obstacles. We've come up with these solutions for them. We've talked about the property qualifying to buy the property, right? The income of the property qualifies to buy the property. We've talked about those business owners who are writing off everything they legally can write off, and now they may not qualify for what they want to do. There is a solution for that. We already discussed it. We haven't talked at all about people that are credit challenged. We're not going to get into that today. We're not going to have time to. But we do have some programs for high loan limits with no mortgage insurance. Think about this one. Loan amount, $3 million. Credit score is down to 620. I don't guarantee anything. This is not an offer to lend. Ratios, debt to income ratio, high. Loan to value, 90% loan to value potential here. 12 and 24-month bank statements. Asset utilization programs. These are all things to think about. You got a lot of assets, but you don't have a lot of cash. You don't have a lot of liquidity. Let's create that. So all these are different programs that are out there. And we've been chatting this morning with Blake Vartanian about getting into some of these things. And he's been gracious enough to share some results of other families that they've helped. Talk about this event you've got coming up, though.
Exciting event next Thursday, August the 12th. Or say this Thursday, August the 12th, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. We are recording on Wednesday, so you're listening to us if you're on radio. It's Sunday morning, so, August 12th, Thursday.
Yes, Thursday at 4 o'clock at our offices here at near the intersection of the 55 and the 91.
And you can text RP100 to 79564, RP100 to 79564. Get all the details about the event that's coming up and tell us a little bit about what you're going to be discussing. It's not a first-time homebuyer seminar.
It is not. It is an overview educational conversation around investing in real estate. So whether you're a first-time investor or you have we've had people with as much as $10 or $12 million worth of equity participate in our conversations, and they're looking for guidance on how to grow their asset base and what to do next, because oftentimes they've gotten to the point where they're gotten to on their own, and they haven't had anyone to really consult with, or they're getting advice from people who've never had the experiences before. So in my experiences are very unique in what my family was able to do. I'm a third generation real estate practitioner. So under my grandfather's guidance, we were able to do things that very few families have ever experienced. And now we're sharing that knowledge with the greater community as part of our gift back to the community for all the years we've been in this business.
You know, you made a comment there, Blake, that very few people ever think about, and entrepreneurs need to hear it, right? Because if you do studies on entrepreneurs, they're very, very smart people. Just ask them. Yeah. Right. And I'm not disparaging anybody. They got to where they are. They're successful because they've just gone out and bootstrapped, and they've figured out, you know, something. I know I have a skill set. I'm going to use that skill set. I'll make my mistakes and I'll learn from them.
And it's expensive to learn that way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that don't think about the concept, and some do. That, you know, I've grown my company, I've grown my portfolio to a certain size, and wouldn't it be nice, you know? And none of my friends have done this, right? But they're going to give us advice, right? You got to love that, right? So they've never built a portfolio of, you know, 50 or 100 or 200 doors, and they're going to give you advice on what you should do, right? You're just sharing the idea that, hey, we've done that before. We've helped other people do that before. Maybe get an expert to share that advice.
Yeah, and in my own personal experience on a smaller scale, I've been able to have ownership in over 125, you know, doors and investments, and it's a far different experience than I had when I first came into the world in 1959, and I had zero knowledge and zero skill set. I learned from others.
When you first came into the world, slap on the rear,
started crying. You know, so sometimes the crying never stops, right?
Exactly.
So you know, my invitation is to come to our educational event, because it's not a sales presentation. It involves a certain amount of sales dialogue, but we're not selling anything to anyone in that particular conversation. We're about educating. Most people take a few days to think about what they want to do. If you choose not to do anything, that's fine. If you choose to do something, that's up to you. There's no pressure. There's absolutely nothing but a conversation that takes place. And it's very entertaining for most people who have come to the presentations. They end up taking an action step. I would say over 90% of the people who have attended our presentations or our one-on-one consultations have decided to move forward doing something to build their portfollios.
So what is the action step? Is it coming to, you're not going to sell a house right there. You're not going to sell no duplex. The action step really is just to set up an appointment to discover more about your unique situation, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so what we do is we have the community event where it's, you know, a safe place for everybody to come and gather and be at our office in a environment where you can ask questions if you want to, and if you don't, that's fine. You can engage to the level that you want to in a general, you know, conversation, and then afterwards, if somebody wants to book a specific one-on-one, we can do that in a future conversation, or you can, you know, just take the knowledge and enjoy the fact that you now know that.
come and join Blake and his team. I'm going to actually show up and sit in the back of the room. So if you see somebody making faces at Blake, that'll be the bald guy. And as always, I ask you, again, text RP100 to 79564. Get that information on it. No RSVP required. It is 4 to 5 p.m. at the Realty Pro 100 offices in the city of Orange. And as always, I ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio every Sunday morning. A special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you want to meet any of our guests or call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.